Hey everybody, I know it's been a while, but this is the reason. You'll notice that's my pilot seat, and behind the pilot seat's empty. And that is because I decided to up my fuel load. Yeah, they're only 5-gallon tanks, and I'm going to put a 10 on this baby because I need extra, distance. I need some more duration, because if this thing burns 5 gallons an hour, basically I got an hour's worth of flying time, and I want more. So what I did is I got another tank, and this is the tank. I'll go ahead and start tossing some parts out. That's the tank band. Yeah, let me take this strap and move it out of the way. My one tank band, my second tank band, and here's the other tank that I am unboxing now with one hand. It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to see if I can do it. Wrong way. Sorry. Okay, let me just set this thing up somewhere so this way you can see what I'm doing. See if I can put this in a good spot. Hopefully that's good. Now I just need to get my tripod to cooperate. Come on now, tripod, cooperate. Oh my goodness, this is just ridiculous. Okay, hopefully let me get around the other side and see what's in the viewfinder. Okay, it looks like a decent picture. Alright, this is the tank. And I thought, oh God, the last tank that I had was a 5-gallon. The fill neck was over here, all the way on the end. Why the hell they put this in the middle, I don't know. And now I'm really screwed because I wanted to change my fuel gauge setup. I wanted to go from a sight gauge to one that they have like in a Taylor craft, which basically, let me show you. Okay, on a Taylor craft, imagine this is the gas tank cap for a Taylor craft. They drill a hole in the middle. They put a sleeve about that long, just big enough for about a coat hanger size wire. And the wire is attached to a float on the other end, so down inside the tank is a float. And that float will stay up here, and the wire will be all the way up here. And then as you use your fuel load, the wire will drop with the float, and then you can just take a peek at it and know where your fuel is. And the reason I'm not upset, but the reason I'm a little bit perturbed, I guess perturbed is a good word, but anyway, I thought this thing was going to be over here, like the old tank. And this way I would have been able to at least look over my shoulder when I had the tank finally in the plane. I would have been able to look over my shoulder, and I would have been able to see the wire and where the level was. And then I could have removed the sight tube off the side of my my center hoop, because I just don't like it. I just don't like the fact that there's a sight gauge on the side of the tube full of gasoline that could be nicked, cut, or accidentally broken somehow. So that's why I kind of wanted to up my fuel load. I wanted to get a different kind of a gauge setup, and this totally shocks me because I expected one with a mount on the side. And unfortunately I got a center mount, which means, damn it, I got to fill the dang tank up, and then I have to land it in order to be able to look behind it, or have a mirror, put a mirror up on top of my root tube to be able to see behind me so that I can tell where the fuel load is. But that's the other problem that I'm now thinking about. I'm going to have a parachute. So I don't know if this is going to work. So let me let me pause this for a moment. Think about this. Put this in place and see how it's going to look and where it's going to end up bumping into my, because I know Dennis Carley knows all about this. And I don't think he would have sent me a gas tank that wouldn't have fit with the parachute system. But you never know. Anyway, I'm going to pause it for a moment, and then I'll come back when I get some more thoughts all, put together. Hey everybody. Okay, what I've decided to do is I've decided to turn that 10-gallon tank around and send it right back to Dennis Carley. I'm a little bit disappointed because the filler neck on the 5 gallons is all the way on the extreme side, one side or the other. The filler neck on the new tank is dead center, right behind the seat. So I'm going to have to improvise either a siphoning system, or I'll have to use a funnel with a long neck on it. I didn't want to do any of that. I just wanted to take a 5-gallon container, mix my fuel, and take the filler neck on the 5-gallon container, attach it to the container, and pour it in. And now it looks like that's not going to happen if I keep this tank, which I'm not going to do. I'm not going to keep the tank. I'd rather have my 5-gallon back. Plus, Dennis told me Plus, I was told that the fittings were not to be removed out of my tank. I was supposed to leave the fittings in the tank, and I was supposed to remove the cap. The only thing that was supposed to go back with the tank was the tank bands and the tank itself. I get this brand new one, it arrives, I start unpacking it, and I find a gas cap in it. Well, I already have a gas cap. I don't need that gas cap. The other thing that surprised me was there was no fittings in the tank. I left my fittings in the tank and sent them back that way so nobody has to mess with them. All I got to do is hook up some fuel tubing and they're ready to go. Mine, I expected to be the same way, and it wasn't. So this is like the first time I think I've really been disappointed with U-Fly It and Aerolite 103, and it's because I was not informed that these tanks were different, and I should have been. Anybody who's changing their tank from a 5-gallon to a 10-gallon needs to be informed that the tank is slightly different, not just the capacity, but the filler neck is in a wrong place. Or I shouldn't say the filler neck's not in a wrong place, it's in a different place. There is no right or wrong place, I guess, for a filler neck in a gas tank. But if it's easier for the filler neck to be on the side of the gas tank, the extreme side of one of the circumferences, one of the sides, instead of right dead set in the middle, these little details are important, especially to a builder. And so my shock and my surprise was the fact that I couldn't fill my tank the way that I expected to be able to fill my tank once I got it all set up and the thing's running. And yeah, I was just going to be able to mix my fuel in my 5-gallon, pour it in, mix another batch of 5-gallon, pour it in. Now I would have had to get a siphon out and siphon twice. Siphon the first 5-gallon batch out, siphon the second 5-gallon batch out, rather than just pouring it in. And I think pouring it in is easier, personally. Plus, I don't have to use a siphon. I don't have to even think about it. All I got to do is mix up a gas can full of fuel and pour it in. So that's my disappointment. But other than that, I'm still satisfied with the Aerolite and the things that I've been getting from Aerolite 103 and so on. But Dennis, if you're listening to this video at all, you need to tell people if they're upping their fuel load from 5 gallons to 10, tell them the tank filler neck is in a different spot, so they are aware of it and they don't get surprised when they open the box and find it in a different place. Just saying. Okay, for now I'm just going to let that go for now, and I'm going to get this one out, and I'll try to do another video as soon as I can get this other tank reinstalled and do some other stuff, because I got to get my plane running. It needs to get running because the weather's really getting good out here, and I want to be up in the air before my birthday, which is June. So, we'll talk to you soon.